Yeah.
Give it a buck.
Still maybe a little better.
Did they take their pledge though?
Not 4 o'clock yet, so.
Did that happen?
Right, that's what I was
I don't
waiting
know if they
on
did.
the stream first.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I didn't really notice it. If anything.
Yeah, I don't know why that popped in my brain.
We'll ask you later, not in front of us. It's not like a problem, like we were just here, an update or something.
Used to have two stuff groups now.
Still don't have 4 o'clock yet. Yep.
That's a little slower.
Yeah. Okay, I do have 4 o'clock, so I'll call the town council meeting of February 12th, 2024 to order. The first order of business would be the invocation of the pledge.
Will you join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day and thank you for the tease of spring-like weather you gave us over this past weekend. Father, as we continue into this new year, we ask for your many blessings, and you please continue to lift up those in need and those who may be ill. And Father, as always, we just ask for a productive and enjoyable meeting this evening. And all these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Terry, you want to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We do have a few guests with us today from the Maryland Municipal League. And we've got President Carroll. Would you like to say a few words and introduce our other guests?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor Burris. It's a pleasure to be with you all here. I'm Mayor John Carroll of the town of Galena. I'm also serving as the Maryland Municipal League President this year for 2024. I'm joined here with Mayor Benitez of the city of Mount Rainier. She's also on our executive board. Teresa Coons, our CEO. Justin Fiore, who's on our advocacy team. And Mayor Mike Benton of North Beach, just down the road.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you all coming down. So. Okay, and everyone should receive a copy of the last month's minutes.
I move to approve the January 8th, 2024 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or corrections? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And Angie, the treasurer's report, please.
Oh, yes, thank you. The report is, I have it there in front of you. The only transfer that was made in the month of January was $200,000 into the checking. We've been working hard on the budget and working on that now, so
Hopefully we get that done here pretty quick.
yes. Michelle too. Michelle's been doing a lot of work.
Any comments, questions for Angie? Everybody good there? Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to Mike Bailey, Planning Department.
Thank you, Mayor and members. Just want to remind everybody that this coming Monday, we will not be having the planning commission meeting. It will be on the 20th because of Monday being a holiday. The planning commission has 2 items on the agenda. The first one is case number 0505A, which is a Splash In car wash, and they're coming to get concept approval. The second item is case number 70-16, which is the Dogwood Development, and they are seeking final site plan approval for their project. And so we will be reviewing those. And that's all I have.
Which one is the Dogwood?
Dogwood subdivision is up there across from the Cedar Lane Apartments and the rezoning property that were.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The 6 home, individual homes.
Right, what, 7 homes or something?
6.
Six.
Any
Oh,
comments?
it's a duplex and 4. Is
Yeah.
that?
It
was,
was.
still
It's
right?
going back to 6 houses now.
Oh.
That's why it's coming back to. They were able to make the 6 individual houses work after going through the engineering, so it's coming back again.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions for Mike? Okay, thank you, Mike. And everyone should receive a copy of this month's police report from Mike Roselle. Is she with us? Saw her earlier, I guess.
She was in earlier, but I don't see her.
Okay. 38 vehicle stops, like to see that.
Very active with the crime preventions throughout the neighborhoods, that's
Right.
good.
Yep. Any other comments, questions? Okay, thank you. And we'll move on to town administrator report. Michelle.
Okay, we do have a public hearing at 4:15, but we have some time to go ahead and get started on my agenda. So the first item is to introduce ordinance number 219. We will hold a public hearing in March. This ordinance is to propose borrowing from the Community Development Administration for the Meadows at Town Run Water Storage Tank and Well Project. And it identifies maximum borrowing of $6 million. You may remember last year we borrowed from the CDA for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. These are growth-related projects, so that Maryland water quality loans are not available to us. We had a very good experience with the CDA bond sale, and so we went back to that. We have decided to move the water tower and the well together. The water tower is ready to go out to bid, and the well we are working with to get some more data, and then we'll be coming forward with a proposal for that. And so we're borrowing for both projects at once. And it is for a maximum of 20 years, and the maximum interest rate would be 5%. We anticipate that it will be less than that, but just in case, we plan to go to settlement in early April. So this is the standard ordinance. It will be available for viewing if anyone wants to see it. We will advertise the public hearing, which will be held next month on that. And as part of the process as well, we are required, as of Resolution 1-10, passed in February of 2010, to meet the state requirements for all municipalities. We had to adopt a debt management policy. And the policy requires that we give you a debt affordability report, and it's meant to inform you of potential ramifications of issuing debt for this specific project. So I'll just highlight a few things on that report. So we are planning to construct a water storage tank and drill a new production well. The potential lender would be the Community Development Administration. And we are once again using bond counsel of Lindsay Rader of Funk and Bolton, who's done our bond sales for the last 20-some years. As I said, we could not go through the Maryland Water Quality Administration because this is a growth-related project. The maximum of the loan amount, which we just spoke about, is $6 million. The total project cost for the water tower is estimated at $6,301,000. We had in our budget to pay $1,571,781 out of impact fees that we've already collected. And we had ARPA money that we reserved as well for the water tower of $729,000. And then additionally, we've already paid $259,000 in engineering fees previously. And then we would borrow $4 million of that $6 million is for the water tower. The other $2 million is for the well, and we anticipated in paying $775,000 of impact fees toward the well. And then we would also have finance costs come out of that for the attorneys and the bond sales. we will, as we get closer to the bond sale, we'll tighten these numbers up and we may not need to borrow quite the $6 million. As far as the town's outstanding debt obligations, as of June 30th, we had a total of $14,111,545. Of that $14,013,214,160 is associated with the wastewater treatment plant, the expansion, and the ENR program. And the other is the Leonardtown Wharf project, which was originally $1.2 million and is down to $475,551. The debt that is associated with the water tower and well is going to be paid with impact fees, just like the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant was. It is not going to be a burden on the residents, existing residents, because it is a growth-related project. The current ENR project debt and the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant, last year we need to collect 58 EDUs per year, sewer EDUs. And for this project, we, at the current $3,000 impact fee, we would need to collect 139, which is very unlikely. We average around 70 to 80 per year. So my recommendation is going to be that we need to go back and re-examine that. We did raise it in 2019 from $1,800 to $3,000 in anticipation of this tower costing $2 million, but now it's costing $6 million. So we're looking at probably $5,000 to $6,000 is where we need to be to cover the debt service for that. And that is new housing units pay the impact fee whenever they get their use of occupancy. So we'll be coming back to you with that very shortly. We did raise the sewer EDU impact fee in 2022 from $13,000 to $18,000 to cover the other two previous loans on that. Leonardtown is designated a growth area for the county, and especially in light of the Tudor Hall project with 400 acres adjacent to the existing downtown and 2.5 miles of waterfront, I think the prospect for our economy remains very high. We had the ARPA money that we put toward the wastewater treatment plant expansion and partly toward the water tower. We are not counting on any more funding from that source, but with the impact fees, we feel we can cover the debt as we planned. And we do not anticipate adding any more staff. We did add one staff member at the wastewater treatment plant a year ago, so that when we open with the expansion, we would have one more person, and the same staff does the wells and water towers on a daily basis. And we have not increased our water rates in the last 11 budget cycles, even though we do have a 2% annual increase passed in the ordinance in 1997. But in the water system, we haven't had to raise those rates. We did raise the sewer rates by 2% last year, but we'll be looking at that during the budget. We have not in the last 11 budget cycles. The debt affordability report is intended to inform you about potential implications of any debt issuance, and hopefully this report did that. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, it's really just for your information prior to.
Just want to reiterate, this isn't for the current residents, this would be for new residents coming in, so. Just curious, Kristen, what does MECOM charge for EDU? I should have asked you
It's
earlier.
just under, yeah, I think it's just, I mean, they're very comparable to what towns are at this point. I think the water is projected to go up a bit next year. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know it's very close.
Okay.
When you said, Lachelle, that the anticipated interest rate is 5%,
That's the maximum.
that's the
So
maximum?
if it comes in at less than that, I mean, at more than that, then we would not do the bond sale at this time. We have to have a maximum in the ordinance because it can change. But that will be the maximum. Our last ones were at 3%, and they anticipate these will be lower, but we have to have a maximum amount that we can borrow and a maximum interest rate that Dan and I can sign paperwork for moving forward.
Okay, so it could come in higher, I guess.
It could, but we wouldn't be able to move forward because this ordinance would not accommodate that.
And then I know when we get these at work, there's like a timing that's required. Are we think we'll be okay with the well design to have it ready and built in the
Yeah,
timeframe?
I think it's 2 years, you have to have everything constructed by.
I think so.
The water tower is supposed to be 18 months, and the well will just probably be 90 days or so.
Okay, perfect, great.
And we'll be doing them in conjunction. so.
Right, okay, great.
Okay, any other comments on the debt affordability? Okay, still not quite 4:15.
I can go ahead and give a little background on
Yeah.
the public hearing, I think, so we can stay on schedule.
Yep.
At the January 8th meeting, a public hearing was held regarding the rezoning request for 22675 Cedar Lane Court from residential single-family to commercial office. We held the record open and advertised the hearing 2 additional times to meet the requirements, and are going to reopen the public hearing today for any additional comments. The ad was run in the County Times February 1st and 8th for the second time, and has been posted on the town website. When we reopen the public hearing, there will be an opportunity for people to speak as well. Following public hearing, action can be taken on the rezoning request in the form of an ordinance, which was introduced last month, ordinance number 218. We did have one comment at the Planning and Zoning Commission, who held the public hearing as well in December, and that was the Executive Director of Cedar Lane, Eric Golden. He stated that he had no issues with the zoning change to commercial office. He was not in favor of commercial business, but we were moving forward with commercial office. And then at your meeting last month, we had one person who spoke, which was Teresa Rossi, president of the Tenants Association at Cedar Lane, stating that she did not have any issue. They did not have any issues with the rezoning as well. Since that time, just today in the mail, we did receive an anonymous letter, just concerned about the property being maintained and the amount of traffic. I'm not going to read the whole letter. It was anonymous. It's not going to be read for the record, but I did give you all a copy of it so that you can read through that.
I would just say that, the reason we're going to, or possibly going to commercial office and not commercial business is because of traffic. It'll be less traffic, so.
It's time for 4:15?
Yeah, it is
So we'll
4:15.
go ahead and close the regular meeting and
Yep.
open the public hearing.
Entertain a motion to close the public hearing, or close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
All right, I move to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing for rezoning request for 22675 Cedar Lane Court from residential single family to commercial office.
I'll second.
Motion and second, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
So I saw the owner here, James Horskamp, and Wayne Hunt is here from Little Silence's Rest. They gave a presentation last month. I don't know if you have anything you want to add or. So the reason for the rezoning, you have to either show a mistake or a change in the neighborhood since the last comprehensive rezoning, and they demonstrated that as since the pharmacy and the UPS store has opened next door, the amount of commercial traffic has changed the neighborhood, and that was what their presentation showed you. They also showed you the surrounding zoning categories with commercial office right across the street and multifamily to the east, and then a PUD and multifamily as well with the Hamptons. And then you have the commercial business, which is the medical arts building, and where the UPS store and the pharmacy is located. So, see if any public
I was
comments.
going to say, is there anyone here today that might like to make any comments? Okay, hearing none. Go ahead and close the public hearing, reopen the public hearing.
No,
Or close
close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
I know, so,
All right, I move to close the public hearing and open our regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
So last month, I did introduce ordinance number 218, which was the request to rezone the property at 22675 Cedar Lane Court, currently residential single family to commercial office. If the evidence was shown that there has been a change in the neighborhood since the last comprehensive zoning, which was in 2021. So that ordinance is before you today for the purpose of amending the comprehensive zoning map for the town of Leonardtown to change that zoning to commercial office. Having considered recommendations from the Planning Commission, as well as comments that were made during their public hearing in December, and then you had a public hearing, as I said earlier, in January and February. Now, this ordinance is available to take action on today. Any questions?
That was the only letter we received, right? There was no other comment that came in?
Correct. The only three comments were the first from Eric Golden at Planning and Zoning. The second one was Teresa from the
Cedar Lane.
Cedar Lane.
Okay.
And then the letter we received today that which was not.
Okay.
And this was
And
from Cedar Lane, I just looked it up, it's from the Cedar Lane, so it could be
Somebody.
anybody, any other residents over there, yeah.
And Dan mentioned that once, I guess this all goes through, they'll be cleaning up the property.
Yes, I think that was the major concern, just making sure that it was cleaned up and they don't, we're opposed to additional heavy traffic, which, you know, all three comments were, you know, they're okay with commercial office, but they were not interested in commercial business.
And like the mayor said, the commercial office will keep down the traffic versus its commercial business.
Less intense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I move to approve ordinance number 218, request to rezone property at 22675 Cedar Lane Court from residential single family to commercial office based on a change in the neighborhood since the UPS store and pharmacy have opened next to the property.
Second?
Motion and a second, further discussion. Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
The ordinance would go into effect 20 days after passing, which would be March 4th. Okay. We also have a public hearing at 4:30, which is for the franchise agreement for Comcast of Maryland. It's not quite time for that yet, so I'll move on to a couple other items. Before you is, I would need approval to purchase a locator, piece of equipment for the wastewater treatment plant for locating underground utilities. It was something that was budgeted for $16,000 this year. It is being purchased at $15,500, but it is there's only one local supplier, so it is a sole source, and that's why it's coming to you today, because it's over $5,000 and it's a sole source. It is when there's no tracer wire present underground with the utilities, this can still pick it up where the utilities are, so it'll make it a lot easier, especially in the older part of town where we don't have tracer wire on most of the utilities. But again, it is a budgeted item that we had planned for.
So like these new communities, they have that, right? Because I feel like
Yes,
when we built our house, it had
we
that.
require it to go
Okay.
into the new utility, so it's easy to trace it, and sometimes, you know, it can break too, and it's not necessarily totally reliable, so this is a radar unit and it will pick it up anyway.
Yeah, with all the new broadband people coming in, we need to
Yeah.
be ready. Yeah.
Especially downtown,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
because everything is.
The old
Yeah.
houses, we don't have that kind of fancy technology at our house.
No, you guess.
Well, you
Yeah.
will now.
You will now.
I don't think so.
All right, well, I move to approve the purchase of the ground penetrating radar from US Radar Incorporated in the amount of $15,500 as the only local supplier.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Will they come down and do training on this
Yes.
piece of, perfect, great.
right, the last item I had was an update on the RFI for the Wharf Food Hall. We held a meeting, February 2nd for, 5 interest letters that we received for parties that were interested when we put the RFI out in January. We had a lot of good discussion, and the next deadline is March 15th for the proposals to be presented, and then we'll do individual meetings with the presenters and talk through. There'll be a committee, and then it'll come to you all after that. It could be 1 or 2 coming forward, so you can hear all the proposals and make a decision based on that. And so we are moving forward. We did have a good bit of interest, so that was good news. Still have a couple minutes till
Yep.
if you want to come back to me.
Okay, I'll move on to my report. LBA, Christie?
We just had our meeting on Friday. We are just actively encouraging membership. We have a lot of people that are attending that aren't paying their dues, so we are trying to get a lid on that. And then we are moving forward with the 5 videos that are going to be done by Jack Nutter, highlighting the businesses in town. You must be an LBA member, and the businesses are being selected to be highlighted in each of those 5 videos. And we're gearing up for the State of the Town in March.
Yep, it was a good meeting on Monday, so, yeah. Really, a lot of things going on in town, but nothing really under my report besides that, so we'll move on to council reports. Events. Heather.
I'm looking forward in a couple of weeks for Muldier Weekend, yay. I know we teased some of the, what we're gonna have around town, so I've seen so far we're gonna have is it Drawl Chessie as well? Like now we're also incorporating the Chessie and local legends.
Other local legends.
Yeah, so I think there'll be a lot of kids' activities, adult activities, ghost tours. So looking forward to that. And then I saw the summer series was announced. And now we're doing something on Tuesdays also.
Yeah.
I saw somebody was rehearsing in the
Third Tuesday tune.
third Tuesday tunes.
Just at lunchtime. We used to have,
Yeah, I like that.
we used to partner with the River Concert Series at St. Mary's College and have, like the Italian orchestra sometimes would come to town and do a lunch concert, so.
That's really cool.
Jimmy Hayden sponsors the waterfront concerts, and he wanted to actually make this part of it as well, so.
I think that's awesome. And thank you to Jimmy Hayden for just consistently supporting us, so I appreciate it. He's my LSM classmate also.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
That it, thank you. Nick, Community Development and Planning.
All right, thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything on the planning side. I just wanted to mention the ribbon cutting for the Main Street designation. That was a lot of fun. Thank you to the Lieutenant Governor, all the state officials that came down for that. That was a nice time. And I think they got a nice tour of Leonardtown, so that was great to be a part of, and looking forward to that designation. That's going to be great. So, otherwise, that was everything for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Christie, Utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a whole lot other than Maryland Route 5 looks like it's wrapping up finally. We had a little bit of work on our street that they needed to correct, but just wanted to know if anybody sees anything that doesn't look quite right to just let Tony know so he can get that to State Highway so that kind of stuff can be fixed. But yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. One little area, one little
Great.
great
It's
area
so
that,
great. Is it
that
the one by
doesn't have a
Guido's?
great, it's not,
Flush.
yeah, so I'm gonna
Right,
talk-
it's right before the PNC
Yeah,
bank,
yeah.
yeah.
So
That
I'm
one's
gonna talk
tough.
Yeah,
about
that one's bad. But then the ones by the Lido's, like that marketplace too, there's a couple in there that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I will, as part of that, we talked about it previously, the sign in Singletree was blocking the view.
Yeah.
The residents were very upset about it and wanted it removed. It was supposed to be removed. They had told Alfred Manley that the State Highway was gonna remove it as part of the contract, but they didn't, and they said it wasn't part of the contract, so we did take it down last week, working with Alfred, and so they were very happy.
Are they gonna put something back up or?
It didn't sound like it, but, I mean, he still has land right there, but, it just was, you had to pull right
Yeah,
out
it
to a
was
street
tough.
to be able to see to get out, so, they were very happy that we went and took care of it.
Thank you.
Great. That's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor.
thank you. Jay, Southern Maryland Municipal Association.
All right, Mayor, thank you. I attended the Southern Maryland Municipal Association. We had our meeting January 10th, excuse me, and that was in Annapolis. It was smaller, so it was good to kind of have a smaller conversation with everybody, so it wasn't a whole lot. Afterwards, I attended the legislative open session that was also in Annapolis. I would say that was probably one of the largest. Would you say, President Carroll and Teresa?
Yes.
That was a great turnout. It really was, and thank you. I had my last Maryland Municipal League Board of Directors meeting on January 27th, and our next one is scheduled for April 27th, and I believe that is in Annapolis, if I am correct.
It is.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
that
you.
one's in person.
It is.
And I think that's all I have for my report. I also attended the Main Street ribbon cutting. Great turnout. And Michelle, Emily, thank you, and all the staff for making that happen for Leonardtown, all of our partners throughout the state. That was great. So that's all I have. Thank you.
We do have the Maryland Mayors Association coming up in
That's February, right?
February, last day of February and first day of
Okay.
March. Yes. Okay, thank you. And Mary, business development and retention.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind everybody how hard it is for small businesses out there. I just closed a business today. You know, when minimum wage has gone up to $15, it's hard. It's hard to pay your employees. And they ended up just walking away, leaving everything. It's a restaurant. They've just left everything. And it was very sad. So just remind everybody to be patient, because finding people that they can employ and that want to stay is tricky. It's always tricky hiring employees. And I wanted to remind everybody that we are seeing the reporting of the Corporate Transparency Act for all small businesses, which is beneficial ownership information. So anybody that owns a business, an LLC, if you have a rental property, anything that you have in the state of Maryland, you are required to report it to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. And it's it's just Big Brother, you know, checking in on all the small businesses. If you do not do it, it opened up on January 1st of 2024. If you do not do it by December 31st, we're talking about $500 penalty per day. So this is serious, and people need to do it. So anybody with an LLC, make sure you get that done.
That's first I've heard of it, and I've got 3 LLCs.
I know. But I don't know how the information is. Yeah. How the information is getting out there. I mean, I've had people that seen it on TikTok that come running in. They're like, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" I'm like, "Yes." It's called Beneficial Ownership Information, and it's through Financial Crimes Network. And basically, it's if you guys ever watched, like, you know, SWAT or NCIS, you know, people come in, they're like, "Oh, this is owned by a shell corporation." They're trying to prevent that from happening, so they want to know who the owner is of every company. We have to upload copies of the driver's license, and it's very serious. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm always here to help. And that's all I have for today.
Okay. It is 4:30 now, so I entertain a motion to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
All right, I need to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing for the franchise agreement request from Comcast of Maryland LLC.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Okay. Comcast of Maryland has requested that the town council grant them a franchise. The franchise request letter has been received, as well as the $5,000 franchise fee has been invoiced and is on the way to us. The town of Leonardtown has a non-exclusive franchise currently with Breeze Line for cable services in town. The franchise has been in place for more than 20 years and was last renewed in 2012 for a 15-year term. As we talked about last month during the Think Big broadband discussion, there has been an outcry for competitive services in Leonardtown for years. These are the first opportunities that have been made available to offer additional options to our residents for cable service. The public hearing was advertised in the County Times on January 18th and 25th. And if the council decides to grant the franchise agreement to Comcast following the public hearing today, then the terms of the franchise agreement will be worked on, and they have to be met within the next 90 days, which we're already working on currently. And then the agreement terms will be made public, and another public hearing will have to be held on the franchise agreement. And then following the second public hearing, the council can approve the franchise by resolution. And we have with us today Chris Mulhall. He's the Senior Manager in Government Affairs.
Yes, ma'am. Afternoon, Council and Mr. Mayor. My name is Chris Mulhall with Comcast. I just wanted to come by and introduce myself. We are very excited to come to Leonardtown and provide our services to your community. We are last year we just celebrated our 60th anniversary in business, and we are strongly believing in being community partners. We don't come in and just say, hey, we're here to build service and we're gone. Once we come in, we're here. We want to partner with you. We want to help build, and we want to elevate the community and as a whole for everybody. Because when the tide rises, we all succeed. So that is what we are here to do. Going off the point in the small businesses, we are now down in Richmond is where we are concentrating this year right now. We are doing what is known as the Comcast Rise Grants, where we give businesses that have been in operation for 3 years the chance to free to apply. You get $5,000 cash, no strings attached, all of our services for free for a year, and we provide you with a 30-second commercial for 6 months. All free. And you don't have to be a Comcast subscriber. That is the commitment that we show to our small businesses. To our residents, we are always committed in providing you with the best service possible. We are the only telecommunication company right now that has what's known as storm-ready Wi-Fi. We got a big storm coming through tomorrow. My house, I've got one of these storm-ready Wi-Fi pods. One-time fee, you purchase it, power goes out, internet goes out, Wi-Fi is still good in my house. The average electrical outage in the United States is 2 hours. Ours come with a 4-hour battery. If you want to add more batteries, go for it. That's up to you. But we're like, okay, the average is 2, we'll double that. We believe in providing to our community. We are introducing over $1 billion to bridge the digital equity gap. Because if COVID has taught us anything, it is that the internet is so necessary for today's business world and for schooling, for keeping in touch with our friends. So we're going $1 billion commitment. We are going to make this happen. So we are very excited to be here. If everything goes as I hope everything goes with today's discussion and our next one, my construction team said they can be here in April and start putting in our lines. That is our level of commitment to you guys. And through the entire construction process, we understand accidents happen. I'm your direct line. I get it done. I've got a team on standby that'll help solve it. And again, as I said, we are here to be your community partners. When construction's done, that line does not disappear. You have a resident that comes to you with an issue. You get in touch with me, I resolve to solve it. We want to be your partners, and I hope you want to be ours. So thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment on this issue? Did we receive any public comments? Yes, sir.
It's time for me to ask a question.
Sure.
All right, okay. I just want to make sure it's the right time. Are we going to have a choice between Comcast and Breeze Line, or is it going to be one or the other?
So we will still have the Comcast, the Breeze Line franchise, and we'll have Comcast. And we're also, last month approved the Think Big, which is another fiber network.
So there'll be 3 choices.
So it's up to the resident, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yes, okay.
You know, we have Breeze Line now, and I have personal experience, and I think everybody else does. When you have a monopoly,
Exactly.
guess what?
Yeah.
Your prices are up. So there will be, on our side, there would definitely be a cost comparison between the 3 as to what they're offering versus price.
We've heard that for a long time, but we haven't been able to
That's
get
probably
in.
no secret to anybody.
Sarah, would you
Well,
please give your name and your address for the record, please?
Oh, yeah, Lawrence Ludwig, 23356 Margie Court.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's why we're bringing them in, so people will have choices, and hopefully it will bring the cost down. And previously, it was just too hard to have, all the lines and everything from others, but with the new, why don't you explain how you'll be putting in the lines?
Absolutely. So guesstimated throughout Leonardtown, we anticipate there's going to be about 100 miles of cable that we're going to have to string up. About 66 miles, give or take, are going to be underground. The remainder is going to be on the poles, and we go through, we survey what the poles are, we work with the utility company that owns them. In some cases, we're going to look at them and go, nah, it's going to be better for us to go underground here, and we're going to do that. We try to make this as stress-free as possible. In a lot of places, we're now doing what's known as micro-trenching, where we've got a really big saw that's actually a lot of fun to use. It's about just an inch thick. And that's just going down and it's just micro trenching, and then we can lay the cable straight in there, so we're not doing major trenching work that you typically see when your water main goes out. We try to keep as little impact as possible, and because this is what's known as an overbuild, you guys are getting what's known as our new EPON network. Very few areas have it. The EPON network, it is so frickin' state of the art. The geek in me just gets excited because we've already shown successfully 10 gigabytes up and down. And right now, the average speed you can get is like 800 megabits. So we have the bandwidth and the capacity that we are building out in Leonardtown that will keep you on the forefront for years to come and hopefully decades.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm Mary Ludwig. I'm related to him. 23356 Marview Court. A couple of questions. We've been with BreezeLine, MetroCast, et cetera, for over 30 years. The biggest problem we have had with BreezeLine is no local contact. If something goes wrong, you're talking to Pennsylvania, you're talking somewhere else. We used to have an office here. We may still have one here, but I've gone in there and nobody's home. And my question is, will you have a local contact, or is it, again, going to be totally remote?
My closest local office right now is in Waldorf, Maryland. It is like a 20-minute ride, if I remember.
A little bit more, but yeah.
I have a little bit of a left foot.
That's still in St. Charles?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been there before, so.
That's where our currently local office is. We do on a very regular basis always look to see where the population center is for our clients, and we try to adjust our offices accordingly.
Okay. The other thing, we live in a community, Clark's Rest. Is there any problem with local covenants with the HOAs, et cetera, for putting this in, or is this over and above?
No, the town owns all those streets in
Right.
Clark's Rest, and it'll
Okay.
be in the right of way.
We still try to work with our local HOAs. I live in one myself, and we've got Comcast in there. Because mainly a lot of people, when you live in an HOA, that's the first round you go to complain to. And we want to make sure that the HOA is fully aware of what we're doing, and we work with them, and we make sure your HOA has my contact information as well.
Okay. Any other public comments? Okay. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
All right, I move to close the public hearing and open the regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Any comments, questions from the?
Lachelle, how long is the agreement for?
We were working on it 15 years, over 12 years.
We can make it whatever length you guys want.
I think it was 12 years. We're working on the franchise agreement right now.
Okay.
But we don't have it done yet.
Okay.
It'll come back to you for another public hearing.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
I know we talked about it last week, and I've forgotten, I apologize. So hypothetically, if they start in April, when would the job be complete? When will you be knocking on doors for people to subscribe?
Please don't hold me to that, because you never know with construction projects or anything. We tried to start activating nodes within 30 days of the wire being laid down.
Yeah, okay.
And so we start the advertising campaign of, hey, we're going live at 90 days, which we're already in that window, but as soon as we have that franchise agreement, we're gonna start our advertisement so everybody knows, hey, we're here.
That was answering my next question. Are you gonna advertise and send out
You are gonna be
information?
sick and tired of my flyers coming to your house.
Can you make it so my kids don't yell at their gaming systems every time it buffers? There you go.
Yeah, our network latency will be able to cover that for them.
Oh, great, thank you.
Do you know build out, like how long it'll take you to build out the area? I mean, ish, we're not gonna hold you to it, like a year.
That's what I was trying to,
Yeah.
In our franchise, we have 3 years. It's just because I don't know what the situation is without digging in the ground. I don't know where the rocks are. So we give us a 3-year buffer time. I don't think it's going to take that long. My construction crew wants it done this calendar year.
Is it the same group that's already doing the rest of the county?
Yes, ma'am.
so is it done in like pockets?
They've done like Wildwood and
So we would do
sections.
like pockets even in Leonardtown,
Yeah, I think that's how
guess?
they've gone through. I think
No,
that's
we're in
their plan
Leonardtown.
now.
They're in Leonardtown and they're doing it. They're just,
Okay.
we bounce around.
And a bunch of crews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments, questions?
All right, I move to grant Comcast of Maryland a franchise for the town of Leonardtown.
I'll second.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Anything else for the good of the cause? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Is it